Hello, hello. Can you all hear me and see me okay? Hiya. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. There we go. I'm always playing with these cameras. One of these days I'll have it all down. Hey, Danny Banani, how are you, hun? I'm so glad you're here. Cindy is here. Hello, Cindy. Come on in. Sharon 2950. How are you? Hope you are well tonight. Hope you are all well tonight. Hey, Tank's here. She's listening. She is listening. Okay. She's got us in her ear. Thank you, Tank. Thank you so much. There was something I was going to tell you, Tank, but now I don't remember what it was. All right, let me go back. I know Rosie is here. Good evening to you, Rosie. Mimi is here. Hello, my friend. I hope you are feeling well today. There is my friend Joan. OG. Angela's here tonight. Glad you could be here, Angela. So glad. And Leanie is watching on the TV. Hello, hello. Okay, who else? Who else? Oh, I missed. Sorry, Kathy. You were right in between there when I was going back up. How are you? I hope you are well. I hope it's getting pretty for you there. Hope all the snow has melted and you're done with that. Huh? Why are some of these are turning shadowed? Oh, I guess it lets me know. Well, that's new. There's so many new things in this program that I am not aware of. But once that I highlight a comment, it goes gray. So that's interesting. Margaret's here. Hey, Margaret. You've been crocheting a lot lately. I'm so glad to see all your projects. All of you, one of these days, we're going to do a look through on Facebook of all your projects. We will. We haven't done it for a while and we need to. So glad you're here. There's Eljoy. Yay. Oh, I love the roses. Thank you for the roses. Hey, Debbie. How are you tonight? How are you? Sharon creates. She's an OG too. Absolutely. There's Angela. Hey, Frozen. Oh, everybody's here tonight. Lots of good friends here tonight. Sally Birch. Good to see you. Uh, are you talking about Hewerman? If you're talking about Rex Hewerman for the Gilgo Beach stuff, we talked about that last week. If that's what you're talking about, Scrimshaw, good to see you. Glad you're here. Come on in. I'm so glad. I do have a bit of a sore throat tonight, so just so y'all know, may have to take lots of drinks. Dartmouth Mom, how are you? Is sugar season over? Okay, Scrimshaw, I saw that. Yeah, isn't it good? We have lots of wonderful people. Oh, Sharon. Yes, lots of that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Pain Warrior. Where's my Pain Warrior friend? I am so sorry. Oh, that's fun. Did you do the book? Did you do that book with the 63? That's fun. I made it down to the end. There we go. I am okay, Dartmouth Mom, but I'm okay, but I'm not okay. But it's all right. Almost 80. Oh my goodness. Yes, there's been a lot of tornadoes in the north. Isn't that odd? I think it's everybody just be careful, okay? Just be careful. Did I miss Bree coming in? Where you at, Bree? Hello there. Working on a moonlit magic throw by Bag O' Day. Fun. I started another Bag O' Day poncho today. With that speckle, the jade speckle, I started a poncho. Hey, Lori's Crochet Stories is here. I said it wrong. Hi, Lori. Oh, I'm trying. Working on a basket. Cool. Yes, everybody, please. In Wisconsin. Uh, is that Wisconsin? I think that's Wisconsin. That is the one I'm thinking of. I never got mine finished, but I do have some of I was doing a tutorials of each one of those squares. So there is a playlist for some of those squares on here on my channel if you want to look for it. If any of you are wanting tutorials for the squares that go with that book. Ah, okay. Yep. And just so you all know, I have added some more videos to my Stitch and Crime research playlist here on my channel. I made it public. All three or four, there's 4 parts to the Killing Fields. That's all on YouTube. Everything in there is on YouTube, and you can go and look through it and see if there's anything that you're interested in. But that is where I put the Killing Fields play the ones that we're watching. Yes, be safe. Absolutely be safe. Oh, I would take your rain. We always take the rain in Texas. Doesn't matter. It's like pissing on a flat rock, but we don't care. We don't care. Hugs to you, Bree. Hugs to you. Okay, let me get another drink. Tonight I have my Gracie cup. This is the cup that Gracie sent me. Cheers. And we will probably stop. I'm going to finish this. This is coffee. And then I will go get some tea after that is done. You got nothing done? Oh man, some of those are, sometimes you turn around and you look and you like, what the hell did I do this week? Did Shad come in? Where are you at? Good evening, Shad, my friend. Hugs to you. I'm so glad you're here. I got the regular earrings and necklace on. Oh, good grief. Oh, I hate that. Is Tina C here too? See, I'm not seeing them all. But hello, Tina. My goodness. Oh, how is that going? Are you having fun making those, Sharon? We're going to talk about whatever the hell we want tonight, just so y'all know. It's just that kind of night, and I'm in that kind of a mood. Oh, were you making stuff for him? And happy birthday to him. Yeah, and she's in Florida. Who would know? In Louisiana, they're behind on their rain. Who would know that those are things I would not have ever thought I would hear myself say. I just wouldn't have thought so. Which Lori? Which? There's Tina. There she is. I finally saw ya. Which Lori are you saying hi to? Okay, this one. Because I know we have more than one Lori, so I'm just checking. It's kind of nice. He's knitting a shawl. Oh, that's good. Did you see the new Expression Fiber Arts one that came out today? That's a crochet shawl based on the beach and stuff like that. Oh, it's so pretty and it looks textured and nice. Shad and I both like Expression Fiber Arts. Okay, you guys, I do have some notes typed up, ready to go. So I haven't watched that one. No, I have not watched that one. I haven't watched any trials. I've watched our homework stuff. I watched all 4 parts. But just know that my brain fog is super bad right now, and I'm going to do the best I can. I heard that they are mixing it up. I think it was Crystal that said they're mixing that up, the Hirschner's mill-ins. I need to go in and see. Yep. Okay. I do have my project here in my Bridget bag. It's the Tattooed Girls. And I love the grungy one. I have both versions of this, but I love this one. And I had to move this over to it because this one got too big for that other bag. This is the other version of the Tattooed Girls. It's a little brighter. This is what I have left. So I'll work on this one while I talk, okay? So okay, y'all seeing that they had changed that, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check it out and see just to see what's changed. All right, I'm gonna bring in my hands and I'm gonna read off of my notes, and then I'm gonna go to and refer to I'll go and refer to the video also. Hang on, let me pull that up. Take me a minute, go back to my playlist. And I may be able to link this for you. That's part 4. That is not what I want. They're not all under the same channel, okay? Just so you guys know. That's why they're in my playlist for you, because they're not all in the same channel. Yeah, it's a cake cozy. Yes. All right, let me see if I can grab this and put it in the chat for y'all. Maybe. I also think there might have been a 48 hours. Here we go. That is part 1. Okay? If anybody wants to grab that and save it, and then you can go back later to my playlist. My playlist is called A Stitch and Crime Research. You take care of yourself, Tank. I hope you are doing better. I know it's probably been so rough, but I hope you're doing better. Oh, this thing is... It's blowing the camera. I hope that's not bad. I'm still wanting to do that. I've got all the patterns. I just have to get started. Getting started is my hardest part, y'all. It is my hardest part. Now, this is not, I do not have a pattern for this. This is the planned pooling shawl that I am doing based on some YouTube videos that I watched and then came up with my own way of doing it. The yarn is Bagaudet, but I think that Evelyn dyed it. It's called Rainbow's Dark Side. And this is the worsted 19 micron superwash merino. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by reading what I have here in my notes, okay? And then we're gonna go from there. Laura Miller was born on the 17th of July of 1968. She was last seen on the 10th of September of 1984. Shoot, I dropped a stitch. Okay, we're all good. Tried to do that slowly. That way, if anybody wanted to go back to it, they can. That's cool. Oh, I do not like what that camera is doing. Okay, let me get to the end of this row. And I will fix the camera so it doesn't jump. Is that bothering y'all? I don't know if I've ever bought anything from Huloco. I've heard of them ever since I've been knitting, but I don't know if I've ever bought anything. Not even on D-Stash. I don't think so. Y'all tell me if the camera is okay. Do I need to stop it from doing that jumping, or are you guys okay with it? I don't want it to have, my vertigo has been so bad lately, and all those things really bother me. When cameras shake and when things jump, I just can't do it with my vertigo. Okay, good. Y'all are not noticing. Thank you. I'm having so much fun with this pink. I really am. Okay, good. Hello, Arity. All right, I will leave it be then. I'll just show y'all what I've been doing, see? Reminds me of torn jeans. And I'm really wanting to buy myself a new pair of jeans, but I would like to lose some weight first. I'd like to go down another size or so before I do, and it's not happening at the moment. I'm on standstill at the moment. So now when I do my increase, I just do a knit through the front, bring it around, and knit through the back. And that's my increase, and I do it every time I turn my work. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I'm going back to reading, all right? I know, Denny. I know. Exactly. If they're not pull on and stretch, I don't know what they are. Okay. Laura was last seen at a gas station at West Street and Hobbs in League City, Texas. And that particular gas station is still there, but it's now a Valero. Laura was musically gifted. She was a straight A student. And then she started to experience debilitating seizures at the age of 12. After her seizures started, Laura struggled socially. She began to get depressed. She had 2 suicide attempts, but was hanging out with kids known to do drugs. So some of those things were supposedly a factor in the investigation into her death, because police initially considered her a runaway. But her father, Tim, did a lot of investigation on his own. Some reports say that the mom dropped her at a payphone at the gas station to call her boyfriend. Others say she walked. How she got to the gas station is unclear. She was supposed to walk the half-mile home after the call. Her family had just moved to League City, and their phone had not yet been connected. Now, I know from the documentary that Tim Miller said that Laura's mother did drop her off, and she waited for her at the gas station. But she had to be, I'm going to talk about that, Tina. You don't have to, hun. You don't have to. No one has to sub to my other channel. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I need to remove that, and I forgot. But thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But for now, that's on standstill as well. League City is on the southern coast of Texas. It is not close to Houston. It's closer to someplace like San Antonio. Okay? It's closer to San Antonio than to Houston, I would say. It is right on the coast. It's close to Galveston, where the beaches are. One of the other victims of the Calder Road bodies that were found was Heidi Fye, and she was last seen at that same phone and was found only 60 feet from Laura. On February 4th, 1986, Laura's parents read of a body that had been found in a field, and they took the police her dental records just in case. In December of 1986, Tim erected a cross on the site where she was found. Tim Miller and Clyde Hedrick lived on the same street before moving to League City. Laura's boyfriend at the time knew Clyde Hedrick and had bought marijuana from him on at least one occasion. Oh, thank you, Tina. That warms my heart. I really appreciate it. I really do. Hello, Annie. Now, these aren't going to all go together, you guys, per se. These are notes. Here is a small amount of a timeline. It's not the whole timeline, but it's a bit of a timeline. In June of 1983, Robert Abel moved to League City. In October of 83, Heidi Five was last seen, and then in April of 84 is when Heidi Five was found. In July of 84, Ellen Beeson dies. In September of 84, Laura Miller was last seen. In around August of 1985, Hedrick was convicted of abuse of a corpse in relation to Ellen Beeson. In December of 1985, Audrey Cook was last seen. February 1986, Jane Doe was found. And then they found Laura. In 1989, Donna Prudhomme last spoke to her sister. Sometime in 1994, Tim Miller drug Abel out of his house and threatened to kill him. In 1999, Robert Abel was identified publicly as the prime suspect and moved out of League City. In 1991, Donna Prudhomme was last seen by anybody. And then in September, a Janet Doe was found. In 2000, Tim Miller started Texas EquiSearch. In 2005, Abel died on a golf cart on a train track and was believed to have killed himself that way. He owned that property right there by Calder Road. In April of 2013, Clyde Kendrick was arrested for the murder of Ellen Beeson. And in August, he was found guilty of her murder, and he got 20 years. In 2019, they identified Audrey Cook and Donna Prudhomme. Clyde Kendrick got out of jail in October of 2021 and went into a care home, a care facility, like a halfway house but was also a care facility. Okay. Now, a little bit about Audrey Cook. She was born in November of 1955 She was last seen in December of 1985. She was found in February of 1986 by two boys on their bikes who smelled something. At the time, it was estimated that she had been dead for 2 to 4 weeks. There was a small caliber bullet in her spine. She was found 20 yards from Laura Miller, and she led to Laura Miller's discovery. Audrey Cook had two sons. Details about her are sketchy. We know she worked as a mechanic for various businesses, including a golf cart company, National Rent-A-Car, and Harrison Equipment Company. One of her friends indicated that she bought and sold cocaine, but this was never confirmed in any official capacity. She was listed as Jane Doe until 2019 when she was identified by DNA. Now, that DNA, y'all, that was the new DNA processing that is being done. Not the very latest that was done in the Gilgo Beach stuff, but the very latest technology. Donna Prudhomme was born in April of 1957 and last seen in 1991. She was found in September of 91, and she also was identified by the new DNA. She was located by two people riding a horse, probably from the Starlight Ranch, right there on the Robert Abel property, because he ran a stable and he ran a renting, like a horse rental and lessons. Police found a belt which they think was used to tie her to a tree while she was being assaulted. Her body was badly decomposed when it was found. There were injuries to her upper spine, which might have been the cause of her death. She was also struck in the face with a flat object, resulting in a broken jaw and cheek. She also had a poorly healed rib fracture, the result possibly of domestic abuse. She had been married to an abusive man who she had left she'd had two sons with. One of her sons died before she was identified. She was also one of 6 kids, like one of the other victims. Hey, Connie. Now, I wanted to first talk about Heidi Villarreal Fye. That was her full name, Heidi Villarreal Fye. She was last seen in October of 1983 at that same gas station that Laura was seen, and had been there to use the phone. She was the youngest of 6 kids and was 25 at the time of her disappearance. Now, Laura, I don't believe she was 18 yet when she disappeared. Heidi was a cocktail waitress and a bartender, and it was known that she served drinks and such to Clyde Hedrick. It's reported that police insinuated that her career played a role in her death. She has ties to Laura through the gas station and to Ellen Beeson because they hung out at that same club with Clyde Hedrick. and it was called the Texas Moon Club. It's no longer in business. Now, she was found lying under a tree, almost skeletonized, and that Calder Road was near the Humble oil field. They do not know the cause of her death, but she did have broken ribs, and the speculation was that she was beaten to death. When she was found, her skull was located by a neighborhood dog who brought it home to his owners, and that house was 300 yards from where she was discovered. Okay, so those are the Calder girls that were the ones that were found on Calder Road. However, there are more. It is suspected that there are more. And now that there has been an arrest, Tim Miller has been speaking to the press, and he says that he has, with all of his investigation that he has done, there are going to be more victims identified, and there are going to be more cases solved through the DNA and through all of the connections, because he has one of the victims' father was also investigating, and that was Heidi. And I can't remember her father's name, but he was investigating, and he did tapes. He just journaled everything he was learning. He would just sit down and he would just talk to a tape recorder, small little handheld, push the 2 buttons to record. And Tim Miller had those tapes, and he sat down with Heidi's sister, and Heidi's sister listened to him also, and she was also instrumental in getting them to the law enforcement to look into these tapes. Because of the tapes, and because of the fact that Tim Miller had, I forget how many in his latest, we watched it last week when he did the news conference, and he's talked about how many times he met with Beeson, the man who was arrested. I don't remember how many times it was, but he met with him several times, and they talked, and he got little bits of information out of him too. Are y'all following? Any questions so far? Any comments? Anything you wanted to add right now? Which Linda came in? There was a Linda that came in. Hello, Linda, wherever you are. I don't see you right now. Oh, it's Linda's Crochet Channel. Hello. Glad you could make it. I haven't watched your video. I know that you were live earlier today. I have not seen it yet. I had a bad night last night, so I'm very tired. And then, yes, it's one of my better colors. Thank you. It is. It's one of my better hold my cup up again. Y'all want to see the cup? This is from Gracie. Gracie gave this to me as a gift. It's got a heart and it's got this floral design on it. See? Kind of like a pink and green floral design. And on the inside it says Homebody. And it's made by, I always forget, Natural Life. It's a website you can go to for gifts. It's called Natural Life. Ugh. Yes, thank you, Gracie. I love my cup. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nobody has questions yet. Okay. Okay. So let's talk for a minute about Robert Abel. We're going to talk about some of the suspects that were suspects before, from early on. Hello, Mary. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. I think about you all the time. I have been collecting all these dies and paper and all that stuff, and I always think about you and that wonderful box you sent me. I hope you're doing well. And while I'm at it, I want to say thank you because I know several of you are members of my Ko-fi account. So thank you to you all. I really appreciate you. Ko-fi is basically my website. I don't really have a website anymore. So everything gets posted over there. I have memberships there, and then I have my patterns over there. Thank you, Gracie, and say hello to Adele if you hear from her too. Okay, Robert Abel. Early on, the FBI had a profile that they put together for who might be responsible for the deaths of the girls on Calder Road. And they profiled that the killer would live close to the scene, that he would insert himself into the investigation, that he would provide false leads, that he would keep trophies, that he would be preoccupied with the crimes. He would have multiple romantic partners. He would exhibit cruelty to animals, that he was a careful planner, that he was of superior intelligence, a skilled imposter, preferred working in his comfort zone, and had a location where he could have little interference. Now, I would like to say that I feel like that profile is probably one that is fairly generic to almost all the cases that we talk about here. Don't y'all think? Yeah. Robert Abel was a young NASA scientist. He had a top secret security clearance, a graduate degree from UT of Austin. He lived a half a mile from Heidi and Laura. He was repeatedly questioned. His property was searched, including cadaver dogs. He had purchased 11 acres next to the Humble oil field for the Stardust Trail Rides, which had sales of $250,000 in 1991. So he was doing well. In 1989, he was married to Cindy Jacobs for 41 days. While on honeymoon in Germany, she denied him sex, and he told her if she did it again, he would kill her. she came home and filed for divorce. Now, all of the things that she told police were long after they had separated. Just keep that in mind, okay? In 1990, he married Paula Myers. They separated in 1992. Ironically, he dated Paula before Cindy and then married her after Cindy. Paula told police she was afraid of him, that he had fits of rage, that he would leave her for a week at a time after an argument. She also said she saw pictures of nude women in his desk. She claimed she saw him beat his horses with pipes and chains and then would leave them dead to rot in the pasture. Paula encouraged Cindy to talk to the police. Cindy said she saw the nude pics of women that he had, and she saw him be angry towards the horses. In November of 1991, there was a search of Abel's property that yielded no evidence. However, they did find a news article about the crime and an article in the Houston Chronicle which was detailing the life of a serial killer. Now, Robert Abel was interviewed by Skip Hollandsworth of Texas Monthly. You all remember that we talked about Tom Brown's body from here in Texas, and Skip Hollingsworth did a podcast, and we listened to the podcast and we talked about that young man. It's the same one, the same journalist. And he spoke to Abel. And the reporter, and Skip said that Robert Abel made him uneasy. Some of the facts that came out when Skip spoke to him were that he had a box with a photo album of the places each body was found and labeled Robert Abel, which he brushed off as part of him trying to be a private investigator, is what he told everyone. Abel claimed he couldn't have committed the crimes because he had a torn rotator cuff at the time that some of those girls went missing. He also couldn't have picked up a girl or have overpowered her or taken her to his car. But if he did kill her, he couldn't have carried her out of his house. He denied all statements made by Paula and Cindy and said he didn't carry a gun. Yeah, I think no matter what, I think that Robert Abel just came off as a really odd human being with a very strange sense of humor and probably was not very nice to his wives. Probably not. There's nothing to prove what the wives told anyone, but I'm thinking it's quite possible that, he wasn't very nice to them. Abel inserted himself into the investigation by allowing the police to use his horses during the search for evidence of the fourth body. He also offered his backhoe and made suggestions to the investigator. Later, in 1997, he again made suggestions to a new police investigator that the retention pond had never been searched. Now, he remained in League City until 1999. He closed the ranch and sold and moved the horses and returned to a property in Belleville. No, I think that's closer to Dallas. I can't remember where Belleville is, but I believe that it's closer to Dallas. All right. There was one other suspect, okay? And his name was Mark Roland Stallings. He was very strange. He confessed, but it was unlikely because he would have been only 15 or 16 at the time of these murders. So, some of the strange things about him were that when he was 11 years old, he stabbed another child, and he also SA'd a relative at knife point. He worked for Robert Abel on that ranch. He claimed that Abel would find sex workers and that Abel murdered one of them. And then he claimed to have murdered Donna to frame Abel, and said that Abel told him the murdered girls were visiting him. So, all of those things to me, I'm no expert, but those things all to me sound like someone who is quite strange and not all there and just wanting attention. Now, I know that Tim Miller did check. Tim Miller said that the law enforcement did check that guy out, but it didn't go anywhere. They had absolutely nothing on him. They did not believe anything he told them. And there was nothing to back up anything that he said. Now, Clyde Hedrick. It's 8 o'clock, puppy. Where's your green toy? Okay, I gotta go get my. Thank you, Tank, and thank you, Joyce. Thank you so much. I've got to go get my medicine. I will be right back, you guys. I'm gonna leave you looking at that, and I will be right back. But I want to go get my medicine before this alarm goes off. Grab my water too. Go get a drink and go to the bathroom or anything else you might want to do. Okay, because we still have a little ways to go. Okay. Let me go ahead and take my medicine, and then we will talk some more. Don't know how much longer, but I'm going to do this off camera, y'all. That's done. Thank you. Are y'all playing some Journey or some Sticks? Those are my favorites. And some Teddy Swims. Little bit of Teddy. Okay. Clyde Hedrick. I find it so strange that Tim Miller and his family had lived right down the road from Clyde Hedrick in Dickinson, Texas. And they moved from Dickinson to League City, and so did Clyde Hedrick. How strange. And I guess it had something to do. I believe at the time that Tim Miller was also in some way in the oil business, and there was a lot of oil down there, so that could be the real, and Hedrick was known to work some oil field stuff. So I think that was the connection, was this corridor down there where a lot of workers were moving to follow the work. I believe that I've heard Tim offer that as an explanation as to why they may have wound up in the same place as well in one of his interviews. Okay. Some things about Clyde Hedrick. Other inmates that were in with him after he was convicted of killing Beeson said that he admitted to killing Laura Miller. He acknowledged being familiar with the field where the bodies were found, as his company used that field to dump roofing tiles. He also was found guilty of killing Beeson around that same time. Laura knew Clyde, is what it is. Supposedly she had gone to get with her boyfriend. There were claims, and I don't know if any of this was proven, but there were claims that Laura had wanted to try marijuana because she had seizures, and it helped to relax her and help her with her anxiety and things around the seizures. And that is the claim. And that the boyfriend knew Clyde, and that he somehow they had gone and they had bought marijuana from Clyde. Now, there's really nobody to... I don't know whether the boyfriend has ever said that happened, because I've not seen it reported anywhere. Hey, Maribel, good to see you. There is a report somewhere that claims, that is a claim, I think it was on one of the justice boards in this, one of like tip boards or one of those kind of things, where a League City librarian said that she knew a patrolman and that she was taking a criminology course with some local law enforcement. And those law enforcement told her that they knew who had murdered the women but couldn't prove it. And all this said was that the man frequented the Blue Moon Bar and a club in Dickinson, Texas, and that he was serving time for another crime. And that most certainly could have been Clyde Hedrick. The timing for Donna Prudhomme is not quite right for Clyde to have killed her. And actually, they weren't going to charge him for her. They're now charging Beeson for Donna. But they are saying that Beeson is going to be charged with 2 counts of murder and for assisting with the others. As of right now, that is what they have him on. Now let me see if I can find something on, it's because I have it. I just don't know if I can, I don't know if I can play it for you or not. I wanted to play the news conference where they have arrested this man, okay? So give me a moment to find it, because I think it is in my playlist. Da 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 da. I already did it. Thank you very much. Okay. Playlist. While I'm here, maybe I can send you a link to this playlist. I don't know if I can. Can I? Oh, I can't do it from here. Oh well. All right. Where is it? It's not in my playlist. I thought it was. One moment, please. James Elmore is his name. Hey, Jennifer. Yes, you made it. And there was a search warrant served on his home yesterday. So I'm going to see if I can play these for you, but I have to play the sound on my phone because this monitor doesn't have a speaker. So Now, let me line everything up for you, okay?
You think the district attorney of Galveston County?
All right. Y'all ready? Here we go.
You're announced today, already been press releases, but to make a formal announcement about the charges against James Elmore that were handed down by the grand jury yesterday for manslaughter and 2 felony counts of witness.
Okay, can you all hear it? Okay, let me know if you can hear it, and then I can restart them. Okay, I just like to put it out there and let's see if you can hear it. Okay, before I. Waiting for y'all to tell me if you can hear it. If you heard it, you did. You did hear it. Okay. All right. I've got it turned all the way up. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to try again.
Good morning. I'm Kenneth Cusick, the district attorney of Galveston County. Here to announce today, there's already been press releases, but to make a formal announcement about the charges against James Elmore that were handed down by the grand jury yesterday for manslaughter and 2 felony counts of witness or evidence tampering. He was arrested yesterday afternoon. He's in custody, now pending disposition of his cases. My office is going to seek detention in this case, pending trial for various reasons, mainly the circumstances of the case, length of the time, criminal history, and there'll be other things that will be pointed out to the court. But what my main purpose here today is to convey a message to you that due to the concerted efforts of the law enforcement agencies in this county, this 40-year cycle of violence by these defendants against women, we're trying to make headway on it. And I think we made significant headway yesterday in just getting a charge against Mr. Elmore and having him arrested, because the allegations are going to show he was involved with 2 of the murders against Laura Miller and Audrey Cook. And the allegations also include the evidence tampering was about disposition of their bodies. But I want you to know that although it's taken this long, there has been a lot of effort expended, agent hours, office hours, money and lab results, everything else by all of these agencies that are involved. You have the press release with all the agencies involved, but I want to reiterate who helped with this case so nobody's left out. It's the League City Police Department, Hitchcock Police Department, Galveston County Sheriff's Office, the Texas City Police Department, Investigation, Dickinson Police Department, the Galveston Police Department, and the Santa Fe Police Department. Last December, I was approached by Mr. Tim Miller, who's the father of one of the victims, Laura Miller. I understand his concern, his frustration that there had been no closure to this case about Clyde Hedrick, who murdered his daughter, and James Elmore alleged to have assisted this and the disposition of her body. At that meeting I had with Mr. Miller, I promised him that I would gather in all the evidence that had been obtained to date since 1983, and I would take a new objective look at it, and depending on what evidence we had, we would seek appropriate charges against those persons and for those charges that we could prove. And I'm here to tell you that we did that. I fulfilled my promise to Mr. Miller, but I had 2 of my ablest prosecutors in the office, Caitlin Willis and Adam Poole. This evidence was organized, reviewed, and that's what led to the charges yesterday. And I can also tell you that It wasn't just against Mr. Elmore. Clyde Hedrick, who died a little over a week ago, these charges on schedule had been prepared for Clyde Hedrick and for James Elmore. And but for his death a little over a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago, we presented his case to the grand jury.
Just wanted to stop and remind you that Clyde Hedrick was on not life support, but he was on oxygen 24/7. He was in really bad health when he was released. And he had spoken to law enforcement, okay? And after he spoke to law enforcement, he pulled everything out and let himself die. He did not die, he killed himself so that he would not have to face charges.
I don't know. There was no ruling on it because he's deceased. There was no.
That's what Tim said too.
This murder, therefore.
Yes, are you not hearing it? Okay, hold on.
Nobody's going to do anything about it. This is an example of it took a while, re-examine the stuff, redouble our efforts, but we're able to solve one part of these murders. So nobody should feel demoralized or feel like nothing's going to be done or can't be done. Please provide all information to law enforcement agencies available because there are a number of unsolved murder cases in this county that still need to be solved. And I know the agencies will not give up. If we've got leads to act on and information to move forward, we will do it. And we will prosecute if we get enough evidence. So, thank you. We'll take a couple questions, but sir? Well, nothing since his arrest.
He's not talking. James Elmore is not talking.
Well, at this point, what's public record is what's in the indictment, the charges, what he was arrested upon. The defense will be able to obtain the discovery as soon as we know who the attorney is and move forward on that. And then at that point, once it becomes disclosed, we would be able to, discuss that further. But since this is a pending case, I don't want to get into that until, an attorney's been appointed or hired, discovery's been made. And
I'm going to stop now because we can't really hear the questions that are being asked, and I don't know that that's going to help us. So let me. Did I ever even share that? I never even shared it, did I? All right, hold on. I'm over here watching it. Y'all can't see it. I'll share it. Just a minute. Line everything up. This one's about 4 minutes. Now let me share my screen with y'all because I wasn't doing that. There we go. All right, now let me share this one with you, okay?
And more killers tied to the infamous killing fields in League City.
Today, just 24 hours after a man was arrested in connection with the deaths of two young women decades ago, police tell us another prime suspect who was about to be charged took his own life as investigators were closing in.
The Galveston County DA's office has begun looking closely at 4 murders tied to the fields in 2024, a full 40 years after a girl named Laura Miller vanished while heading to a corner store. Her body was found nearly 2 years later in the fields on Calder Road near another body. Miller's father, Texas Equisearch founder Tim Miller, told ABC 13 that he spent decades screaming at law enforcement and the DA's office to solve the case, believing it could have prevented other murders, the deaths of even more young women whose bodies would eventually be dumped there years after his daughter's death.
Now that one major arrest has been made, investigators say they're looking at even more potential suspects. ABC 13's Claudia joins us live, and families want to know why it's taken so long. Claudia.
You know, Eric, we asked investigators that exact question, but they really wouldn't say what evidence, if any, led to this new arrest after so many years. The answer, though, could lie in what Tim Miller says he heard from this suspect over the course of many conversations over the years. He says those conversations were so upsetting, so disturbing, they made him cry.
I'm over here in Galveston County, where that Calder Road stuff where all those dead girls.
This video from the district attorney shows long suspected serial killer Clyde Hendrick making a phone call during a police interrogation back in 2013.
I haven't done anything to keep her after me.
The DA says Hendrick removed his own breathing tube shortly after an interview with a detective about Hedy Phi Villarreal, Audrey Cook, Laura Miller, and Donna Prudhomme, the murders of which he was long considered the prime suspect.
This is not over with just because Mr. Hendrick's dead. Mr. Elmore is in charge. He's facing his charges. There are other active leads in the case.
The DA says Hendrick had been friends with James Elmore Jr. since the 1980s. Elmore has now been arrested, with the grand jury finding he caused Laura Miller's death by preparing a vial of cocaine for Hendrick to give her. According to the indictment, the tampering charges, the DA says, are related to Elmore and Hendrick allegedly working together to dispose of Miller and Cook's bodies.
Oh, and I built that cross out there where Laura's body was found, and I walked up to it years and years and years ago, and I'd say, Lord, please don't hate your daddy, but I can't come out here anymore. I have to say goodbye, and literally people, I'd be walking away and hear that little voice say, Dad, don't quit, please don't quit, and I didn't know what the hell that meant. I think I do now.
That's Tim Miller, Laura's father and the founder of Texas Equisearch. Today, he revealed Elmore had met with him more than 30 times in the past 4 years, with the two men even going to Calder Road together.
He told me some stuff, and I was as strong as I could be in front of him, but I had to pull over and just stop and cry with information I got.
Miller didn't give details because he worries about ruining the investigation. Today, we confirmed Elmore has a long criminal history with 31 criminal cases in Galveston County since 1989. In 1993, records show he pleaded guilty to attempted murder in another case. For families who have been waiting so many decades for justice, These revelations bring both closure and frustration. Why, they wonder, wasn't this uncovered earlier?
My grandparents would be honest and say thank you for not forgetting and for letting it go.
Anybody think that is the only 5 people Clyde Hendrick murdered? You're all living in a delusional damn world, because there's more common, I can guarantee you that.
Pooja Lodia, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
This is new video of the suspect, James Elmore Jr.
That's it. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, they're all so creepy. They're all just so creepy. Wow. Okay. So, any questions? We can come back and wrap this up probably next week with any other comments or questions y'all have about it. Okay. Yeah, just so creepy. I have my doubts about how they say some of that happened. I think that those, yeah, absolutely, that is where they're headed. I really have doubts that Laura would have done anything like this. A little weed is not the same as being tranked with cocaine, a shot of cocaine that she could never have been able to handle. You know, and if you go back to what happened to the Beeson woman and what he did to her, Clyde Hedrick, and what he was convicted of doing to her, it tells you an awful lot about what happened to the rest of them. And then he found this guy, that he could do things with, and it would help him. It was a power keg. Absolute power keg. And I tell you, the strength of Tim Miller is unbelievable. How he could meet with this guy 30 times. I think part of it too is he really wanted Clyde. He knew he was going to get eventually that they would get James Elmore, but I think he really wanted what he needed to be able to help them to take down Clyde, because he knew Clyde was the one that killed Laura. So I think that probably played, but I cannot imagine being that strong. I really can't. Okay, y'all, have to quit talking. For some reason, my throat is hurting today. I don't have a health update for you, although here's what I can say, and that is that I am really fairly certain that what I have, and I'm going to speak to my doctor about this next week, I think that I have fibromyalgia, but I think that it has been running this whole time pretty much. I don't know how far back. I really don't, because it's a genetic thing. It would have been there. And I don't know when it actually started to show itself, at what age, but my whole life. And that is hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Looking into everything, there's a chart here that says that if you have even if you have three or four of these symptoms of these things that you have tells you you're hypermobile, okay? And it's called the Baton score. I can touch my thumb all the way to my arm. My pinky extends all the way back that far. All of my fingers are double jointed. Both of my arms are double jointed. When I was younger, I was able to touch my hands to the floor, completely flat on the floor. And I was in gymnastics, and I could reach all the way behind me and touch my nose to my heels when I was younger. So those are signs that you are what they call hypermobile. And so that's a part of Ehlers-Danlos. And then pretty much everything in my body book that I have written, all of the things, the hernia operation, the allergy stuff, the trouble swallowing, the tachycardia. Well, if you would like to talk more about it, Connie, we can. I'm tired now, but if you guys would like to just sit, we can just sit and knit and crochet and talk about it. I would be happy to do that. So y'all just leave me comments after this goes live and let me know that you would like to talk about EDS, okay? And I can give you some more information about what I know about it. I looked it up to see if it was anything that was rare, you know how common it was. And it's 1 in like 2,000, or with some of the comorbidities, which are other things related to it, that's 1 in 5,000. So, yeah. But those of you who may have or have been told that you have fibromyalgia might be interested in knowing what some of those things are so that you can look into it yourselves. Because I have had fibromyalgia since I had Chelsea in 1990. And I believe that a lot of what I am going through now is actually EDS and not the fibromyalgia. That there's a big difference between the two, but you can have both, which is what I think I have. So anyway, like I said, I will learn more as we go along, but it helps me to kind of know it. So, you know, what caused me to be looking farther into it was the flushing that I've been having. That is a part of Ehlers-Danlos. So I don't know where we're going to go from here. I don't know whether she'll be able to help me or she's going to send me to somebody else, but we'll see how it goes. And that's not till next week. So I don't have any information until then, but then we can talk about it. Okay. All right. I love y'all. And that is so true. It is so true, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I love y'all. Have a great rest of your night. If I don't see you the rest of the weekend, I know you'll understand. I love y'all and have fun today, okay? Thank you all. And for those of you that have been watching, I see you and I thank you all so very much to have been here too. I see 31 people and I really appreciate that, okay? Thank you guys. Have a great night.